This really is a meeting about unknowing. What do you actually know? And who knows it? Can that one be found? Can the knower be found? When I say I know, who is that one? Can it be found in direct experience? What's seeing? Right now, what is seeing? What is hearing? What is hearing these words? Can that one be found? What about the thinker? The one who thinks, can that one be found? So we're just being with our experience, however it's showing up. Exactly as it's happening. And what's being shared here has nothing to do with anybody's life, nothing to do with a life. Because it's always here. What we're speaking of is ever present. It never moves, never goes anywhere. But it's not noticed because most of the time we're involved with our thoughts and our imagination. And so we miss the obvious. It's like as soon as we know something, it deadens it, it kills it, it zaps the aliveness out of it when we think we know what this is, because we don't know what this is. This is a complete and total mystery. How is this happening right now? How is this? We could tell a story. Well, yeah, Michael, you sent out Zoom links and we got our Zoom links and, you know, we clicked on it and here we are. But that's what seemed to happen in a story. But I'm asking something much more profound. What is actually here right now? That's appearing as everything. Bodies, computers, walls. What is here, you could say, disguised as everything. So we don't tend to think of everything being it. So the vacuum cleaner bag that's filled with debris is just as much it as the most beautiful rainbow you've ever seen. What happens is the mind gets in there, it makes judgments, and no, rainbow is beautiful. The dirt bag from the vacuum is not beautiful, it's ugly, it's disgusting. Those are just labels, different words for this. So this is an open meeting, meaning everybody's invited to participate. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to unmute and jump in. I'll be right back. I'm going to put the fan on. What happens is we tend to stop at the story. That's where all the quote problems arise. Is, in a way, we could say we don't go deep enough. We stop at the story. So we tell stories about things, but we never actually are present with the actual arising itself. And the arising is indescribable.
It seems like what is only seen are the projections.
Yeah, you're talking about the story that's believed.
Right. It's like it's on top of the true reality.
Yeah, yeah. That's been, yeah. It's like it's been said, you probably heard it said that it's like an overlay. So there's reality, or whatever word, there's no, Nkosi calls it this, there's just this. But we don't, our experience is not of just this. Our experience is, I'm trying to get somewhere. I need to go find my freedom. I need to become enlightened. So this is not of interest, because clearly this isn't it. What I want is somewhere else. So I just need to get there. So that's called the hamster wheel, because there is nowhere to get. This doesn't move. Life doesn't go anywhere. It's always lifing.
I had an experience a few weeks back, and was out in nature, and it was a great expanse of sky and water and land, and the beauty of it was just so, it was just so right here. And then thought came in and started to describe it, and there was just this realization that the thought just is not needed. It just doesn't add anything to it. It's just a habit. It's just the momentum of the habit. And it was just so clear that it's just, that's all it is. It's right here. This is it. And thought can come in when it's needed, but it was just a clear saying.
Yeah, exactly, Katie. It's always just this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just whatever's appearing to happen. It's just the simplicity of whatever is arising, as it's just as it is, just how your experience it is. This isn't any tap dancing or trying to, turn it into a positive, make the situation positive. No, it's exactly as you're experiencing. So it's if you get a parking ticket, that's a shitty, that doesn't feel good. So, you, in that moment, you may feel, oh, I got a parking ticket, but that's just what's arising. It doesn't mean anything. It has no intrinsic meaning, except our mind will start to tell a story. Oh, I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. Why did I park there? Should have read the sign, blah, blah, blah. That's all story. And now where's this? Where's what is the arising, the simplicity? It's gone.
I hear my gurus talking about mind must kill mind. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say anything because somebody's going to tell me, hey, you don't have a mouth. At the risk of that, I'll just go on for another 30 seconds here. So, like, if I get a parking ticket, like there's a story about that, about the gurus that I've met along the way and taking all sorts of forms. And so, like, if I get a parking ticket now, the first place my mind goes is like, thank goodness I got that parking ticket. Like the first place I direct mind, like mind is playing with mind. The non-existent mind is playing with the non-existent mind, because it might as well, because in the past it used to erupt. So it's fine that mind is playing with mind. So for a certain level of what might be called intensity, not that anything is any more intense than anything else, but my mind will say to itself, thank goodness we got that parking ticket, or thank goodness we're stuck in traffic. Like if we didn't, we'd be killed in an accident. Or if we didn't get that parking ticket, we might have had enough money to go on a vacation and there would have been a tsunami. Like there's a very simple story that the society tells. And then there's, I guess it's just another story, but it's kind of a story of mind killing mind.
Well, yeah, the thing is, you can't find the mind.
Yeah, they use that word mind. I do a lot of parroting of gurus, just like a parrot, like. That's what they say. I don't know what this mind is. In my experience or non-experience, you always come up empty-handed looking for it.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it's called the direct path, because we're only interested in not what you've learned or what you've been taught or what your parents or teachers. What is your direct experience? Like everything's changing. So I touched on this last week about if everything's constantly changing and it's always been that way, what story could you tell about this that would actually be true if it's ceaselessly changing?
I have a question. When I heard about the police thing and the ticket, I don't find anything wrong with just saying to oneself, "Oh shit, I got a ticket. It's going to get in the way of my vacation or this or that or whatever." Why not just embrace that part and then bring oneself back to center? I mean, so what if the mind goes off? I don't feel like I don't I don't like to live my life in such a very, what I consider, this is my personal humble opinion, of something that's too strict or tight, because then the non-duality becomes duality. Yeah, so I get a ticket, and then maybe for the next 10 minutes I'm going, oh shit, what am I? And then afterwards I bring myself back to the present moment, and I breathe deep, and so I don't see what the issue is, for me personally, from where I'm coming from.
Yeah, well, there's just what's arising. So, like I said, if getting upset and getting mad at the ticket, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's only the spiritual seeker who has these ideas that, oh, well, spiritual aspirant doesn't get upset when they get a ticket. They should just, well, that's what it is. Bullshit. If you're pissed off that you got a ticket, then that's what is.
That's
what
because
I
too,
feel. That's what I feel, because I feel that I come more from the place of how Tara Brach, from the Buddhist type of energy, where it's, learning to really love oneself and say, yeah, I'm pissed off, and kind of hold that space for myself, let myself rant and rave, or breathe really deep, or growl, or whatever I need to do, and then come back into that space. I believe in that kind of unconditional love. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, what I meant is that I watched this body breaking things and throwing stuff around for a lot of years. Like, you sound pretty calm, which is pretty cool. But like, I was like throwing stuff across the yard and like literally breaking expensive stuff. I'm like, hey man, I wonder if there's like, one time I was so mad at how dirty the house was, I just decided to clear the coffee table, and like, here's my coffee table right now. Like, coffee table is like seriously awesome coffee table. But at the time I didn't think so. And so I was so pissed off that I wiped everything off of it, and I drove an Allen wrench like through my skin. It went like 3 inches down into my wrist. And so like, these gurus, like I had these gurus, the story of these gurus, like Ramana and some of these guys, and Stephen Davis, who did this very bizarre holographic universe series, but they talked all about judgment. And like, for me, it's pretty cool to, I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay, I know I don't have a mouth and we're not experiencing anything, but I don't like driving an Allen wrench through my wrist. So there's something in the mix there. And I guess it's just a different, I don't want to call it a path. There's no path, right?
No, there's no path to what is.
I mean, I've seen this body acting without the mind, seen it feeding the dogs, and the mind just a curious, and not, there was no mind, just seen it autonomously moving around. It's the most bizarre thing I ever saw in my life. Krishnamurti says the body doesn't know it's alive. It's pretty freaky when you have that direct experience. But I don't know. Are you allowed to say you enjoy stuff on this meeting? Like, I enjoy the gurus, and I enjoy the effect, like them talking about like what you were saying earlier, Michael, about like, it's like this, my surroundings are like a painting, like a Van Gogh painting, but they used to piss me off. And I don't know, something about these gurus in this story has something to do with that delight in this painting that's around me.
I want to respond to what Charlie said with the being pissed off in the moment thing, and then feeling that need to come back to the center, when actually that's something that kind of pacifies you, and it's in a way is choosing one experience over the other. Going back to the center is almost like denying what's happening now.
I didn't mean it that way, but everybody has a different opinion and different experience in life. What I meant was, is I allow myself to get angry and be angry. And it's like, for me, it's like holding space for that child part or the human part, and just allowing myself to feel those feelings until I'm organically ready to move on and come back to center. And then that's the next thing. That's the next thing in this space, to be good to myself, be loving to myself.
I see. So you basically were saying the same thing.
What?
Oh yeah, I don't believe in bypassing. I'm the last person in the world that would bypass something. If, I allow myself to curse, and that fucking Amazon driver, I allow myself, I'm not saying it to them, but I'm saying it to myself. The freaking person's so annoying. They always forget to blah, blah, blah. And, I allow myself to vent, and then I breathe through it and I growl, and then I eventually come to that place of stillness. It works for me, but you know what? I'm still a work in I'm still a person in practice. I have a lot of faults, and it's just about loving those faults. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's very difficult to love certain faults, but I'm learning. I'm just taking it one step at a time. But this is just my belief and my my own humble opinion, and the way I have found that it works for me, and I become much more centered and happy and present when I practice it this way.
What strikes me about the dialogue is that there is this preferred state center, and that and I'm not specifically referring to what you share, Charlie. I totally get it. And I'm just noticing that that there is a myth that enlightenment or awakening is conditional to being at center, and then that we have a preferred state and that we try to hold or to remain in 24/7, or whereas what I've been picking up, what is talked about here, is there isn't really neither a center nor a periphery, as everything is one. There is not two. And there isn't really anybody that needs to get anywhere, was said earlier. So things show up and but there is no preference. I think the absence of a preference makes a big difference in being.
Thomas, would you mind if I read what you wrote?
Yeah, sure.
Thomas sent a message, respectfully, there's no one having these experiences. And that's exactly right. The experience is whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad, whatever labels come up, whatever feelings come up. But the idea that they're happening to me, that's what we're investigating here at this meeting. Is there really a me there that's the center of all of our experiences? I don't know if any of you heard Nkosi and Alice's beautiful session that Nkosi's been posting. I've been posting them in my non-duality community on Facebook. And he was sharing with Alice that and he comes back to this a lot, so it's worth repeating. The individual is already not there.
How could there be an individual if there's nothing outside of that?
Yeah, in order to have an individual, you would have to have real division, real separation. And there just isn't any. It's all seamless, undivided or divisionless. Another of Nkosi's quotes was, which I really love this, he said, imagine separation is no separation.
Aren't we kind of ruining the fun though with all this no self? Like, we're here, we're not here. There is nobody here talking about division. And yet, like Nkosi said something to me, said something in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I was chanting it, and it was that it loves itself. It's hiding from itself. Just was going through my head, and that's when pop, that night I had that experience where I just saw my body without thought. And so if it's hiding from itself, who are we to gain this lack, to lose all understanding and ruin all the fun?
No, but there already is no one there. So there's no one there to lose understanding or gain understanding. There's just nobody there. Already. So that's why there's no path given here. There's no requirements. There's nothing to do. You can meditate if you like.
I feel that non-duality is, at least for me personally, a very individual path. And I just feel like there's no rules to it, as far as, you know, everybody has to find their own way. And that's just my opinion. You know, like I said, it's my own humble opinion. I just find that that's where I can really feel the moment for myself.
Hi, Nkosi, welcome.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Good, good to
Hi,
see you.
everyone.
Hi, Nkosi.
Hi.
So we were just discussing how the individual is already not.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no individual at all. There's no individual. There may seem to be something talking as an individual, but that's not an evidence that there's a real individual. That's just everything appearing as that. So even what seems to be something trying to get rid of an individual, it's just everything appearing as that. So there's never been any individual already. It can only be an imagination appearing in this as this. So even talking about an individual, well, it doesn't mean that there's a real individual. It's just talking about an individual happening. And what seems to be happening right now has got nothing to do with a separate person or imaginary separate person. It's just everything appearing as that. So it's just total freedom appearing as somebody who's talking. So this is already free. This is freedom itself, expressing. And what seems to be listening to this message is not somebody, it's just listening happening. Just waiting happening. Trying to understand this message happening, it's got nothing to do with an individual, because an individual is never there already. I'm not yet there. It's just a thought that is appearing in this as this. There's no real individual who's saying that, who's thinking that. This is no separation. This is it. Even what seems to be an imaginary separation is just everything or wholeness appearing as that. So there's no real separation. So everything is already beautiful. Because it's just everything expressing. It's just wholeness expressing as that. It's everything. So no one has ever said anything. No one has ever done anything, because there's no one here already. I am this body listening to the message is a thought appearing in this as this. That's not somebody, real somebody. So here, it's just sitting on the chair, blinking, happening, waiting, listening, thinking, and all that has got nothing to do with the imaginary individual. There is no doer already. And this is not trying to convince anyone, because this doesn't see the other. I would say it sees itself as nothing. So here it is just seeing. It's just seeing as it is, but there's no seer. And nothing is seen unless imaginary labels appear. As a result of the knowledge in the memory. They would say, I'm watching the screen, I'm watching Michael. There's no screen, there's no Michael here. There's nobody here. It's just seeing, but there's no seer and nothing is seen already. So no one can disappear. No individual can disappear because an individual is already not there. They may seem to be noticing that an individual has never existed, but it won't be it won't be somebody who's noticing. It's just nothing noticing. And that's once happened. It's already happening to nobody. There's nothing here. Thoughts themselves are not. Because they can never be found. Because even what seems to be the finder is already not there. Even what seems to be the finder is imagined by no one. Your whole life is imaginary, including yourself as a separate person. Here, there's no story. There's no you. There's nothing here. So nothing ever happened. You never came here. There's no one in the meeting and there's no meeting. There's just this. So anything may appear here. There may be question appearing, answers appearing, thoughts appearing, but it doesn't matter. Just doesn't mind. So this is beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's what seems to be coming up.
Beautiful.
So with all those beautiful words that you just spoke, there seems to me something is speaking that what was just spoken. And it appears like it was you, or in my experience over here, it appears like it was you. If it's not, what I think you were speaking, you're saying just everything was speaking that.
Yes. Even right now, everything is speaking that. There's no real you. And this is appearing to nobody already. It's just everything thinking, walking, asking question, giving an answer. It's just what seems to be happening. It's got nothing to do with an imaginary separate person.
So I'm listening now to
You are
everything.
not. You are not listening. There's no you there already. There's just listening happening.
Everything speaking, everything listening.
Yeah, I would say that. No separation.
And of course, I have no experience with that because there is no me
Already.
already.
What you're seeing is no different than you, than what it's no different.
So, Thomas, can I read your second message to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thomas writes, if I ask the question, what did you have for lunch? Do you reply, nobody had lunch?
Let me just ask it
Yeah.
right now. I'm just gonna ask, Nkosi, I'd like to ask you a question. Just between us guys, just between us, I'm really enjoying it. And I want, what'd you have for lunch today? Or what'd you have, what was your last lunch? Like, was it good? Like, I don't know where you live, but it sounds pretty cool. Like, I enjoy exotic foods. I think you might not live in the same area I do. So, like, what was the last meal you had?
Uh, Let me recall. Had vegetables and some meats.
Was it delicious?
It was perfect.
Awesome.
So Thomas, that's no evidence that there's a person inside Nkosi saying that.
I absolutely know through direct experience that there is no one talking right now. But also, I flat out asked Nkosi what he had for lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody asked, okay, whatever, but there was talking or something going, anyway, there we have it. Just wanted to ask Nkosi what he had for lunch.
So then also then there's no such thing as direct experience because somebody would have to experience that. So there's no direct experience.
It's a pointer. Direct experience is just saying the normal way is to be in the mind, to be lost in story. So direct experience is pointing to this, just as it is, in your direct experience without the conceptual overlay of a story about it.
It's like a dream that you have at night. While you're in the dream, it's real. You believe it. It is real to you. It's what you're experiencing. That's what's happening. That's like this in a way. Whenever you wake up from that dream, you realize it never happened.
Or you can say it happened and that dream is part of this too, though, right? You can't lose. You can say it was a dream that didn't happen last night. You can say it's a dream that did happen because they're both this.
You experience it as what it was, an illusion that seemingly happened, but it doesn't mean it was tangible.
But you just said you experience it, right? So who is the you?
It's effort to try to describe the indescribable.
We're probably saying the same thing. It just comes down to, you could say the dream didn't happen, it's not real, or you can say it totally happened and it's totally real. And they're both right.
That's the same as this life is appearing to happen, but it's also not. That's duality.
But you could say that the duality is also this, or the not duality is also this.
Because everything appearing is this.
Exactly.
Nothing is excluded. Nothing is excluded. Not even exclusion, like Dan said the last time.
Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
I was just thinking if your dream's going really well, be cool just to jump into the dream. Forget this.
Isn't that what enjoying is? In order to enjoy something, there must be something appearing there.
And Nkosi, do you have a couple things you can say to take us out?
All right.
All right.
Um, well, there's just everything here. As I've said earlier on, there's no doer. There's no real doer. There's just everything appearing. Talking, asking of a question, sitting on a chair, waiting, looking, thinking. There's just this. Everything is this. There's no separation. Even an imaginary separation is no separation. So everything is beautiful, just the way it is. So this is going nowhere. So that's what seems to be coming up right now.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier Nkosi, that your quote about imagine separation is no separation.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. There isn't actually separation.
Yes.
So Leslie, so I want it different than the way it is. I want to get better. So it's another way to phrase that is everything wants it to be better, to change, to get better. It's sort of a question I heard. Or I want a response. It's not that I can sort of get, I know I want to get better. I know I'm not here. But can I always go. Can I phrase it that everything wants me to feel, wants to feel better. I'm trying to recontextualize this thing. I'm trying to get a technique out of this or something. Yeah, I'm trying to get something that I can practice this week.
No,
No.
there's already no one there to practice.
Oh man. Okay.
You mean there's no homework?
No,
Well, I don't know if this is a misquote. I know you said it Nkosi because it was going through my head. And so based on what you just said, who was that just said that?
Don,
Don. I would just kind of parrot what Nkosi said that was going through my head. I would just say, like in response to what you said, I would say it's hiding from itself. It's like the most beautiful thing I ever heard in my life. It's hiding from itself. It loves itself. Like it's the non-answer to everything. It loves itself.
So everything is everything is love, loving no one. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, it's just unconditional love. It's
Loving
just
no one.
unconditional.
Loving no one, right?
Yeah, I would say it loves itself.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Yeah. There's nothing apart from it.
And I can't feel that, right? I can't feel that love. It's happening, but I can't feel it, right?
Who's the I who wants to feel it?
Well, yeah, well, me, but I want to feel it, but it is felt, but not by me.
But you're talking about something. There is nothing but that. You can't find love in something else. There's no else. When people are saying love everything, love yourself, you can only love yourself. You're looking for something, Don, but that thing is not outside.
yeah, I would just say that that's still seeking. What is sought, Don, is what's always here. It's this right here. It's you asking the question. That's it.
It seems like what you're wanting is some kind of explanation to how you get there, but
Oh, yeah.
that will never come.
The one who seems to be looking for it is already it.
I think I have a problem with it being called unconditional love because it can be unconditional hate as well. So I don't know, maybe I'm just having a rough day. But that love word gets thrown around so much, and it's just another label. So I don't know. Just venting is happening.
It loves to vent.
I think that's pretty cool what you just said, Wendy. I know we're running over time, but like you apply words to things, and like Michael said at the beginning, as soon as you apply words to them, bam, you've diminished them. So I think it's
Well, it's just, Thomas, it's just that the word never captures it.
yeah, it's like in the Bible where they forbid like idol worship. Like as soon as you give a word to anything, it's immediately idol worship, because now you've cemented it into a form that it doesn't actually have. You can never know the form that it actually has. And that's why whoever wrote that in the Bible, it's completely misunderstood. Like that's why idol worship was forbidden, because you're cementing that concept, and that concept can never be this. But I think it's pretty cool what Wendy said. Like you said words and I said words. I used love, you use hate. I think hate is awesome. Like in the context that you used it, like here's some more words. It's like a freedom. It's like a letting go, like that poof, like I'm not here. I don't know what to call that, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's never going to be found in any story because it's always right here. Prior to all stories.
And it cannot be understood through the mind. The mind doesn't get it.
Thank you guys to each and every one of you for coming. We so appreciate all of you. Nkosi, brother, thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a great
Michael.
night.
Thank you, everybody.
Night.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.